Good evening. I'm Jerry McIntosh, along with Dr. Isaac Williams, who is the great pastor of Greater Troopline Baptist Church and moderator for this area, and also the director of the Stay Safe Pensacola. We want to thank Stay Safe Pensacola, Move for Change, and the city of Pensacola, along with Mayor Robertson, for supporting and doing what we need to do to get this show on the road and to inform and make people aware of the COVID vaccine that is so pervasive in this nation and around the world. Dr. William and I was talking about the global component of this, which is when you think about it, it could be devastating. And we're gonna give those numbers, but we just want to say hello to Dr. Williams. How you doing, Doc?
Good evening, sir. Glad to be a part this evening.
Yeah, you know, they're still saying the Delta, even though we're gonna address the Omicron, the Delta variant, they say, is still the dominant variant out here, which was a mutation of the COVID, and now the Omicron is a mutation of that, which a lot of people are saying is more infectious than the Delta, and will infect you much rapidly than the Delta.
Currently, the main threat is Delta, but if the rate of infection continue as projected, it won't be long before the number one infection is going to be Omicron.
And you know, around the world, in many European countries, they are saying it probably will be the dominant variant from this COVID. So that's scary right there within itself. And if it spread, if it's more infectious and spread more rapidly than the Delta variants in COVID, and then it can latch on to COVID and Delta, you know, I mean, when you think about it, it could really be a dangerous product that's being mutated and can mutate again from it because people are unvaccinated around the world.
You know, for the state of Florida, the Florida Department Health reported 13,530 coronavirus cases over the last week ending December the 9th. 13,530. That's an uptick. That means they have an average infection rate of 1,560 individual a day getting infected. Right. That's actually up about 2,500 from the reporting period. Let you know, Florida only report once a week, but the week ending December the 2nd, they don't added another 2,600 plus cases, and this is unique, you all, because just 21 months ago, March 1st of 2020 to be exact, the first 2 cases of the coronavirus reported in the state of Florida. And now we have over 3,710,000 positive cases in the state of Florida. And take a guess how many people have died from this virus in the state of Florida.
How many, Doc?
Over 62,000.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of death in this state alone.
And that is probably an undercount. Because, you had people complain about they weren't given accurate information on how many people have actually died here in the state of Florida. So we're looking at an undercount here in the state of Florida. But the thing about it, we hope that it's, this trend slow down, because when you think about it, if we, they telling us that 794,000 people in the US already is dead, according to the CDC. Well, you can look at if 15 and 1,700 people dying a day still from this thing. In 6 days, we'll be at 800,000 if the trend continues. And like we always say, it don't take off on Saturday and Sunday. It don't know no boundaries. It don't know no politics. It don't know what your belief, your faith, and all of that. It don't know none of that. It don't care. It's it's looking for a body until that body dies.
Absolutely, and we can't take a day off either. And I'm glad for those or our listeners who are listening, or those who will view this Facebook live podcast later. Please help us get the word out to encourage folks that this virus is still out there. It's still deadly. It's still causing severe sickness in the lives of many people. And I was watching episode on TV a few days ago, and I think this ought to echo in the minds of all of our listeners. This biologist, he made a statement that I never thought about before. He said, listen, you need to get vaccinated. He said, and I want you all to hear me clearly, every person that is not vaccinated is going to get COVID. That's what I want to say, Jerry.
That's a deep statement right there. That everybody that is unvaccinated is going to get COVID. And what he is saying, there is no doubt about it, because of the way this thing spreads and the way it continues to mutate. That's deep within itself.
That's deep, and that's alarming.
Yeah, it is.
The president said we need to be cautious, but don't panic. I think we need to push the panic button.
Yeah.
If we have 62 million Americans that are not vaccinated, and I think only 23 or 26% of the ones who got the first 2 shots have received the booster. I understand it's a little uptick this week, about a 6% uptick. But that still means about 70% of the people who are eligible for the booster need to go and get boosted, because 88% of the people who are hospitalized across the country right now are unvaccinated, or they haven't received their booster. Get the booster. It will boost. It will bring the protection back up in your body back to that 94 to 95% protection rate. You still could get it even with the booster, but you only got a very slim chance of getting it now. Get boosted. Go and get vaccinated. Stay alive. You are precious. And we can get through this together.
This is Let's Talk Vaccines tonight. And this is something we're going to be doing every Friday night, at least for a while, because our intention is to bring on doctors and other people that know about this virus, that can give us a lot of insight on the virus. Hopefully we can get some virologists. I sent a text to a lady today who is a physician and a virologist. Hopefully we can get her on and she'll respond back to me. We are friends on Facebook. So I hope that we can get her on. And I know there are other doctors that we can get on that will come and give us information, so that you can ask them questions if you want to, either through hitting us here on Facebook, or you can call us at 850-206-3776. It's 850-206-3776. We want to hear from you. We want to be you to interact with us on these shows and let us know why you took the vaccine if you're taking it. And if you didn't, we want to hear from you also why you didn't take it. What was your reasons? Because we wanted to hear from you, and we want to respond as much as we can. And hopefully some kind of way we can influence you to get the vaccine. And if you're not taking it, you definitely need to take care of your health as much as possible, because it's all about your immune system. If your immune system is damaged in any kind of way, these viruses can latch on to it.
Bro, Jerry, kind of put the number of cases. We're speaking a lot on demographic right now. At least I am. In Escambia County, we have had 57,825 confirmed cases. And out of that 57,825, we have lost 1,088 precious souls to this. That's 1,000 people. Now, anybody, like I'm a pastor, if anybody had 1,000 people in their church in Escambia County, in the African-American community on any Sunday morning, you will be shouting for joy. You got 1,000 souls that will be worshiping with you on any given Sunday. And here, 1,088 souls have died in it, and we going on like nothing. In the state of Florida, I mentioned earlier 62,000 plus, and we done had over 3,700,000 cases. In the United States, we've had 49,680,000 plus cases and 794,000 deaths. And then globally, now think about globally, over 267 million people have tested positive for the virus. That's 267 million. And 5,779,000 plus have died, over 5 million. That's a lot. We have to be our brother's keeper. We have to be concerned, and we have to help bring this virus from a pandemic to an endemic.
And if, one of the things we want to stress also, you need, even if you didn't take the vaccine, when you go into a place, store or something of that nature, or whether you're in the malls and all that, you still need to wear your mask, because there are people that you're going to be coming in contact with that have not taken this virus, have not taken a vaccine, rather. And you can, just because you got the vaccine, don't mean you can't get it. It means that you may not, you might not have liver problems or kidney problems or other issues, heart disease or brain damage, but you can still get the virus and you can become asymptomatic, or you can become sick. And there have been a few people who have taken the vaccine who had to end up in the hospital, but they didn't end up dead, but they was feeling so bad that they end up going to the hospital. But the majority of 99.9% of the people that are filling up the hospitals right now are from the unvaccinated. And only, I think, out of the people that have gotten all 3 of their shots, one person that got the Omicron disease, I don't think one have died. It said no, right now it said only one person was hospitalized and no deaths so far. And it's been mild to the Omicron have been mild to the people that have gotten, that did get it while they were, but all of them was vaccinated that got it. They had all 3 doses. So it was mild to them because they had built up an immunity. And this thing is, it's not easy to get past the variants. The vaccine after you done taken all three of these boosters, 2 shots in the booster. And Pfizer is coming out with another one. They saying that's gonna it'll be released around March. That's gonna supposedly be able to fight the Omicron.
I think that's very important too, Jerry, that the ones who've been affected by the Omicron, no one has died yet, and the symptoms been mild. It's still a mystery. They gathering data, the severity, the devastation of this latest variant. But right now, all signs, and Pfizer came out with a statement, I think yesterday, that's saying that if you are boosted, you stand a real good chance of being protected from the variant. And so they're saying with just 2 vaccines, 2 shots, your level of protection has dropped drastically. But if you get that booster, that'll be great. And let's do it so that when you get together during the holidays, whether it's Christmas or New Year's or Hanukkah, whatever holiday that you celebrate during this time, get the booster. Now, the good news about the booster is that the protection, it kicks in like 48 hours. You don't have, it doesn't take 2 weeks for it to build your immune system back up to a maximum protection in 48 hours. So if you get it today, which is Friday, by Sunday evening, you are good to go. So encourage your loved ones. I know we a lot of time as seniors. I'm a senior. I'm Social Security age. We have our children with us. We have our grandchildren. A lot of time they're living with parents and grandparents. Want to encourage the children to get vaccinated because they can spread it to you. And so if you can encourage your children, I know it's a difficult task right now, but I believe that by faith, we can do it. I got a little saying, but Jerry, that I want our listener orders to remember is that if you see a little, you can see a lot. But when you see a lot, you don't see nothing. And so if we look at this, that a little bit at a time, each one of us, we see that how we can make a significant difference. We can't do it by ourselves, but if you see a little, you can see where that little can be a lot. And if you're looking at a lot, you don't see nothing because things seem too big for us.
Right. One of the things we have talked about and discussed in some of our strategic planning is that to try to get the whole family to get vaccinated, those who are eligible for the vaccine, the children and the whole family need to get vaccinated and get the vaccine to protect themselves going to school because if the virus, these viruses don't discriminate because people are young. And one of the doctors I saw said we need to start telling the truth about how many young people and how many children under 12 years old have passed away from this virus. And they
right now,
they haven't talked about it.
Yeah, 22% of the people that are hospitalized now are children. That's right. A lot. 22%.
Yeah.
Of the people that are severely ill right now, and that ought not be on our children. They are getting ready for the prime of their life, and they're in those battling. And so, let's get the family vaccinated. I know you're fatigued, but we got to do this, and if we want to get to the other side.
Tell you, our call-in number is 850-206-3776. We want to hear from you. We want to hear whether you got the vaccine or not. We're trying to get a poll of, if you will, of people to talk to us about the virus. And your information could influence someone as well. And if you got it, and let us know how you felt when you got it. Did you get sick? Was it a day or so, or what? Did you get fatigued? Like I did, I got fatigued for when I took the second shot. But other than that, the next day I was great. But one day, that first day, I got fatigued. So, but I'm fine. I was fine the next day after that.
A
So
question for Jerry. I like how you said that. These are the side effects, and
right.
a lot of time you take a medicine, it has side effects, and one of the side effects is that you may be aching for a day or so, 3 days, or you may be drowsy for a day, or you may not have any noticeable side effect. But compare that to 7 days in ICU, saying you can't breathe. Compare that to 30 days in the hospital on a ventilation. Compare that to this one guy who the doctor told him to go ahead and make final arrangement for his mother's funeral because all her oxygen level, her brain activity, everything had basically stopped.
I saw that.
And the day they was gonna pull the plug, she woke up.
Yeah.
And when they called him, he like, well, what y'all calling me? Say your mother want to talk to you. What? But just think about the devastation, the heartache, all this family went through over the last 4 months with their mother. And what was the strangest thing in this whole thing, what I'm saying, just on the evening news, on the networks and everything, there was this young lady who was in the ICU with COVID. And she said that if she survived this COVID, she's still not gonna get the vaccine.
Yeah, I saw that. And one lady, her child died from it. And she said she was not gonna, she didn't feel anything. It let me know that, there are still some people who, I guess, just looking at it from a logical standpoint, I don't understand how anybody, if your child died from it, look like to me you ought to do all you can to make sure your other children don't die from it. Just because, and you say you're not going to take it and you're not going to expose your other children to the vaccine, it's kind of strange to me and deadly for that family because one child had already died from it. And the thing about, go ahead, Doc.
One of the things normally parents would do, they'll take up their cause because of their child or their children. If something happened, that's why they came up with MAD, because this lady child got killed by a drunk driver. And so Mothers Against Drunk Drivers came up. So normally parents would take up a cause when their child died needlessly, when it could have been prevented. But here in this case, the child died, she's like, so what? I'm still not gonna do it. And it's kind of interesting.
And it might be because she feel guilty about it and just, I'm just going to keep saying it, and rather than saying, this is for other, I want to warn other parents to protect their child as much as possible. She doubled down on it. So, and that was kind of concerning, but I want to let people know there's something called long haulers out there. And there's they call it long COVID, and it's destroying careers out there because people can't get back to work because they are tired from this, and this it's because the COVID has caused lung diseases and liver diseases and heart diseases and brain disease, and they are not functioning the way they were. And that's why you got such a big shortage of people going back into the workforce, because there's so many people have the long haulers disease, and it's causing economic damage to those individual families. And the children, the family, the adults are under stress, and so are the children. who are suffering mentally from this thing, and psychologically from it when they see their parents on such tremendous stress and can't go back to work. And it just, it is devastating whole families.
Think about you got shortness of breath now. You can't run, you can't exercise like you normally do. You constantly got this nagging cough. You constantly fatigue. You got brain fog. I mean, your muscles are aching, and those are just some of the most common short-term symptoms. And this can be prevented. Now, I tell people this all the time. I may succumb, the COVID virus may take me out, but I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can to keep from succumbing to this COVID virus. And that's what I'm asking you all. Let's be in this fight together. No, we don't know what's going to happen to us, but let's just don't let this virus run rampant and we don't do anything about it.
We are this Friday night, December the 10th, 2021, and we will be back next Friday night, the same time as well. This is Let's Talk COVID and Let's Talk Vaccine. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear if you're taking the vaccine, why? If you haven't taken it, why not? We pretty much kind of know if you're taking it, why, but if you haven't, why not? And do you feel that that your body can stand against this if your immune system is proper? We want to hear from you. You can call us at 850-206-3776. I know there are some people out there with good immune system and have died from the COVID. But then, I know in our communities, there's a lot of diabetes. There's a lot of heart problems. Obesity is a major problem in our communities. People are suffering from high blood pressure. Like I said before, I got high blood pressure after I turned 60. Had never had high blood pressure. Thought I was eating right, and I'm pretty sure I were. And at 58, I had to have lung. I had lung issues. Tumors grew on my lung, and on the left one of my on my left lung, they took the top lobe of my left lung. But I was healthy, but those was issues that came up. But if you are unhealthy and you get this virus and you have other underlying issues, it can be devastating to you already. And at that time, I was working out and doing everything, in the gym and everything else. And even the healthiest person can get underlying issues or diseases that may come up, like mine. And I don't know whether it was from years ago or what, but the thing about it, they are there. And in our community, diabetes is running rampant. Then we got our children who are suffering from diabetes, who are young. And if this thing attacked them at a young age, you know what it's going to be like as they get older. Insurance is going to be hard to get and all that. And this is what a lot of people are afraid of. And this is why America needs to get, universal health care and free health care in the country, because people are not going to have the ability to afford it after COVID is gone.
Absolutely. 10%, it is estimated that 10% of all the individuals who get infected by COVID, even though it's a mild case, will develop long haulers. And now, I know someone may be thinking, well, these who getting long haulers, are these old people, are these young people, who they got a underlying condition? Who are they? The answer is that it can happen to anyone.
Anybody, right?
It even happen to people who they ain't been hospitalized. They just if they only just had a little mild illness, they can experience persistent and late and long time symptoms. People, I know there's multiple report that stated that persons in their 30s and 40s who were formerly healthy, they've been laid low. And so this is our plea. Let's protect our health as much as we can. There's a saying that when you have your health, you have wealth. And when you lose your health, you will spend all your wealth to try and regain your health. And so you are wealthy now while you are healthy. Don't spend all your money trying to get back to where you are as of now.
So one of the things Tavis Smiley wrote in his book, and he was talking to different people that was unhealthy and have lost limbs and all of that. And they was telling them, if you don't have your health, you ain't got jack. You don't have nothing. The richest thing that you can have is good health. And we're going to bring people on Friday night also that will talk about foods that you can eat that will help with these variants when you can eat good food, different things you shouldn't eat that causes us to have diabetes, that causes us to have high blood pressure, that cause, and a lot of times it's, even if you're eating right, you can still get high blood pressure. And, to keep us from end up losing our limbs and stuff from sugar and end up on dialysis because our kidneys have failed us, or we have kidney failure. And this COVID is causing a lot of people to be on dialysis. And I know somebody right now that had the COVID, they had it bad too. But they will never get off that, the breathing apparatus that they have, because they got to have that the rest of their lives, or to breathe.
We talked about long haulers, and one of the long haulers is as we mentioned earlier, brain fog. And when you get brain fog, it's difficult for you to think or to concentrate on something for an extended period of time. You can't think through matters. But not only that, that this long haulers, it includes a wide spectrum of issues like memory issues, seizures, strokes, neuropathy, you name it. And so you don't want that if you don't have to have it. And so we're sounding the alarm for those who are listening and who are partnering with us, who are locked arm and we'll walk step in step, encouraging, especially the Black and brown community, encouraging our people. Listen, I know you heard a lot on social media, the disinformation and the misinformation, but let's go with trusted venues and trusted voices, and let's get this number up. Let's get our community vaccinated, because if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to get the virus, and you don't know what variant you're going to get.
Right. And this is Let's Talk COVID and / vaccines, but it's sponsored by Stay Safe Pensacola, Move for Change, the city of Pensacola, along with the mayor of the city, Grover Robinson. We want to thank the city of Pensacola and Grover Robinson for sponsoring the show as well, and partnering with us, as you so often talk about, to make sure that we get the awareness and the information out there that is needed. And this show will be dedicated just to the viruses. And the intention is to get people who have even more knowledge than us on these on this virus and the vaccines, and what is the consequences of not taking it or taking it. So we're going to talk about this every Friday at 6:30 to 7:30. some our people are off tonight because of other issues. So we're gonna, Carol is off tonight because she's with her mother at the hospital right now. So her mother have been pretty sick lately, and hopefully she'll be doing better later today. She's supposed to be going back to rehab today, and we just want to pray that she do well when she go back. But
Right.
anyway, there's there are people that's looking for some COVID relief on rental and utilities. That you can go to myiscamicounty.com, and this is dealing with COVID. So it's the COVID care bill that's still there, still money out there for you. So go to myiscami.com, and you can go and look it up. And it's they got I think it's already 1,600 people that have applied for the COVID rental release program. It's then you can go to the and look for also if you're behind in your utilities. So we hope that you will go and apply if you need it, and make sure that you're not out in the cold this winter.
One of the things too, Jerry, that as parents and grandparents, we always want to take care of our children, our grandchildren. And so we need to understand that although long haulers or long COVID isn't common in children or adolescents, it's still affecting some. And so if that child is your child, even though it might be 1 out of 1,000, and your child now has this long hauler, can't pass his exams, can't take his entry level exam for college or exit exam for high school, or trying to get in the military, or because he has long haul, that can have long time consequences for the individual. So although it's rare in children and adolescents, they still can have long haulers. They can acquire that disease as well.
Right, and one of the things that you were so right about, the memory loss from this thing. And then there's cases where they're saying that some people will have symptoms of early onset of Alzheimer's diseases. So which, that's one thing that I hope nobody ever get, because I've seen it. I know that it's not a good thing when you see people that were so vibrant and had these great minds, and the mind just leave. And that's one of the things I pray, that I always keep my mind, and my health. So if nothing else, let me have my mind and my health.
Absolutely. As a caregiver for an Alzheimer's patient, it is tremendous challenging, especially if it's a loved one. In the case, it was my mother. When they forget who you are, they don't know you. You're like, what? You don't know me? And so let's don't let COVID trigger that mechanism in your brains to cause that onset of Alzheimer's if you don't have to.
I tell you, that's got to be devastating for your own parents to not know who you are, or sister or brother. It's because it happens in a lot of families. And I was listening to one doctor that was talking about Alzheimer's diseases and the effect of it, and what we need to do to try to mitigate it in some kind of way. And he was saying there are things we can do, and how they have tests now that you can take if you think that you are forgetting too much. And as you get older, it's some things you're gonna forget. You can walk out of one room. Sometimes I walk out of one room to the next. I have to go back and say, what was I going after? So
I got a question, Jared. Now it's strange that you said something, and I wonder where we came up with this concept. I'll leave out the bedroom, and I'll be going to do something and I'll forget what I was going to do, right?
Right.
And the only way I can remember, I go back to the bedroom, I'll wait in there a little while, and then
Yeah.
it'll come back to me, then I go do it.
Yeah.
Where we get that? What make people go back to that place to do that? You ever thought about that?
I never thought about it, but I know when the age come in, you you have to, because you'll be fumbling and bumbling around trying to figure out why. But when you go back to the place where you first thought about it at, usually it'll come back to you.
Yeah, nah, that's interesting. So some said that's a sign that you got an early sign that you're gonna get Alzheimer's. But other folks said that's just the natural aging process.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
everybody, as you get older, your mind just will not be as sharp. You cannot recall as well.
Right. I always think about when I was younger and before the cell phone, how many phone numbers and all of that I could remember, hundreds of them. And I knew everybody in my family phone number. Now I'm lucky if I can think of one, remember one or two phone numbers. But that's with the advent of technology on that part of it, because you don't have to. And anything that you don't use, you lose. And so we have to make sure we use our mind as much as possible. And even at that, there are some people who was brilliant people who were using their mind and still lost their mind, lost their ability to comprehend or to, find directions and all of that. And that's really something I hope that never happened to me, and I hope it never happened to anybody else. But we know it is, and it will.
Interesting. Back on this COVID thing, though, I was watching on the news channel not too long ago, where they reported that they are finding 3 players from the Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, one of their star receivers, and 2 other players, because they basically violated COVID protocol. And from my understanding, they went and got fake vaccination cards,
Yeah.
and presented to the organization. Now, to me, I believe that those players, they are totally responsible, because you're gonna go and pay to get something that you can get free. And then on top of that, you're not truthful. But I kind of blame the league for that. Do you know why I blame the league for that? Because the league, if they were serious about it, they'll make it mandatory for all the players. And when they make it mandatory, each organization in their league will be they would set up the vaccination site in their facility to make sure they vaccinated. They don't bring me no card. You're gonna get your vaccination right here in this facility. They got billions of dollars. They could have easily done that if they were serious about it, but they didn't do it.
Right. This is Let's Talk COVID, sponsored by Stay Safe Pensacola, Move for Change in the city of Pensacola, along with the mayor, Grover Robertson. So we are here to talk about these vaccines because we want to make people aware of what is going on. The awareness is the first step in trying to make sure that people understand the importance and the seriousness of it. If you don't know how serious it is, by the end of this week and next week, we're gonna be over 800,000 people dead in America. That's 800,000. That's what has been counted so far. That ain't including all the people that died at home at the when this thing was at its crescendo, back in the beginning of 2020, when it really hit. There were many people was turned away from the hospital. They died at home. Many people just, had the COVID and miraculously got over it, but because they were not serviced in a hospital and didn't have the antibiotics and all of that they needed. Many of them now have long haulers disease because there were no services for them, no medical services for them in the hospitals, especially in places like New York and other places around the country where it was so bad that they had to have mass graves dug there to bury the people because it was just that bad. And it was not just there. There's other places around the country as well. And right now,
okay.
I was gonna say right now in Michigan, they're sending in the National Guards and other places. I think it's 25 states where the Omicron disease is there, but also the major disease there is COVID and Delta, which is reaping havoc on the hospital. And one of the doctors that Carol and I was watching his program, and he was saying he was afraid that this Omicron was going to hit people and at the same time, and that's going to overload the hospital grids and all of that. And it's so many doctors and nurses out there who are saying that we are tired. We fight this thing off for a little bit and come down, and everybody go back as if it was, it never happened. And then it's a flood of people come in, and they are up 13, 14, 15 hours a day trying to save people's lives.
Yeah. That is good. The CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, her briefing today from the White House was pretty interesting, and she said that they got results of 43 Omicron variant cases in the United States, and she said it got it out of 25 states that's been affected, and 80% of the cases, the people were fully vaccinated. Now, if you take a deeper dive of that, but before I go to the deeper dive, and she said nearly everyone who had been found infected, and of the 80% of the 43 people, they only had mild symptoms. Now, this is what one must consider. Right now, it appears that 8 out of 10 people who get the Omicron are vaccinated, and you only gonna have mild symptoms. What's gonna happen when 8 out of the 10 that get the Omicron are not vaccinated?
Exactly.
That's what they need to start considering right now. For whatever reason, the Omicron is attacking the ones that already done got vaccinated, and it can't get through their system. It's going to start attacking the ones who are not vaccinated at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
The symptoms may not be mild now that you are not fully vaccinated.
It says 99% of the current cases in the US are caused by Delta right now. So just think these, you got COVID, you got Delta and Omicron. Think of all three of these things are mutating together at the same time on people that has been unvaccinated. It's going to be devastating. And like you say, you got around 90, another 100-some million people almost that's not vaccinated in the country.
62 million adults, and now since they done open it up to children and teenagers, over 100 million.
100 million, yeah.
That's eligible to get vaccinated that hadn't, and since they authorized for children to get vaccinated, only 1/3 of children from 5 to 12 or 5 to 11 been vaccinated. Only 1/3. And a third of the parents saying they're not going to get their children vaccinated. And you got another third that's just like, well, I don't have enough information yet. And this is kind of puzzling to me. We've been in this pandemic about 21 months, and you don't have enough information. What? I just don't understand it.
Well, when you got 200 million, more than 200 million people in the country that's vaccinated, more around, I think they said around 6 point some billion people around the world have gotten at least one shot of the vaccine. So that lets you know right there that it is a safe vaccine. So, so far. Now, people are, well, I don't know what is going to happen in the future. Well, we know what happens in the future and the right now as well. If you get COVID, you could very well die from it. You could very well have long hauler disease, and you could end up on dialysis for the rest of your life, or carrying a breathing apparatus around where you have to breathe because of your lungs and deteriorated and can't function anymore, or you suffering from strokes continuously, and it's just so many things that can happen to you if you get these variants. And if they are mutated, if you get them and they mutate together, it's even more dangerous. So we are saying to you, it is up to you. You have to make your own choices. But we are encouraging you to get the vaccine.
I want to encourage people not only to get vaccinated, but to get their flu shot, their influenza. We had a real light winter with the influenza because we were masked up. We were social distant, but we're dropping the mask requirement, and we're not social distant. You might see in all these arenas and in all these places, 50,000 people are gathered. And so you can get severely ill from that flu and die from the flu as well. And so although it's not nearly as severe as this COVID, you can still die from the flu. So you can be ill and feel bad for a long time. You got to go to the emergency room, urgent care. So if you get the vaccine, and you can get both of them at the same time. However, I urge you not to. I would urge you to take them 2 to 3 weeks apart. So that if there's a side effect, you'll know which one of those vaccine caused the side effect. You do both of them, you don't know whether it was the coronavirus vaccine or the influenza vaccine. But I want to encourage everyone to get that shot as well.
In fact, it's totally important that at least get the information that you need. At least be informed as much as you can about these